What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hopefully you're having a great start to your Sunday morning and a great weekend so far. It is Sunday, so I'll be heading off to church here shortly, but I want to give you a quick update on what is going on. I'm not going to hold you guys long and let y'all get on with y'all's day and the rest of y'all's weekend. Then I'll give you a longer version of an update later this evening and talking about what the potential mid-month mischief could be all about, and we'll go over the latest information. But I'll briefly talk about that in this video too, just show you what some of the main models were showing overnight, but I'm not going to stick on that very long. We're going to talk about for tomorrow morning, there is a winter weather threat for areas of maybe North Carolina and Virginia, and then later tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, maybe for areas of the Northeast. This threat does not look major at all. But we're going to still talk about it. Could catch some people by surprise tomorrow morning with maybe a little bit of freezing rain out there for portions of the country. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Appreciate all the amazing support. Looking forward to making these videos much better for y'all in the future. So just hold tight for me. And the future is bright with this. So thank y'all for the amazing family atmosphere. If y'all guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. Gives me an opportunity to pray for you guys. It gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's get rocking and rolling here. Let's look at the latest HRRR model on what tomorrow morning looks like. So this evening, later tonight, some showers will be moving into portions of Georgia and the Carolinas. By the time they try to reach the Piedmont and the Triad of North Carolina, the foothills of North Carolina, it could be just cold enough for there to be a period of some light freezing rain, freezing drizzle. Might put a glaze on some things up near Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and then it might reach into areas of Virginia a little bit later in the morning. But by then it will be pretty warm. So just be watching out for a glaze of ice. I would not be surprised if they prompt a couple winter weather advisories for this, but they might not. I really don't think this is going to be a big deal. But definitely some showers moving in this evening. You'll notice in the Carolinas and portions of Georgia that the clouds will be on the increase this evening across the southeast and just portions of it. So we'll keep going up into the European and we'll get a closer look at this. This is the 060 European, so the latest European model. What does it show? Well, it also shows a little bit of ice potential. This is for 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, we're in the eastern part of the USA. But you see the pink showing up in areas near Statesville, Gaston, Lincolnton, near Hickory. A little bit of freezing rain up into the Greensboro area, Winston-Salem, as we're getting in a little bit later in the morning. But there even could be some snow, a little bit of snow up into the higher elevations of the foothills and the mountains of North Carolina and southwestern Virginia. But I don't think this is going to be a big deal at all. I really don't. It'll be just something to look at. And the ice, I don't even think will really cause much of a nuisance. I really don't. Maybe just a light glaze on some elevated surfaces. And then it moves on out. This might not even happen either. It really might, but we'll have to see. I want to mention the Northeast because this is a developing system. It's not very close to the mainland, the eastern U.S., but it could tomorrow afternoon pump out some snow showers, portions of western Massachusetts, just flat out rain for areas like Boston and the southern areas of New England. But as you're getting into Vermont and New Hampshire, maybe some light snow, maybe moderate at times, but then you get into areas of Maine, and this could pump out maybe a few inches of snow for you folks in Maine overnight to tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. But I really don't think it's going to be a big deal. If anything, it'll help out the ski resorts and up in these areas. But it's not going to be one of those snow events that pump out several inches of snow or anything like that. We take a look at the national blend of models for the Northeast. Vermont, New Hampshire, maybe a couple inches of snow. Heck, maybe even in the higher hills, the higher elevations of western Massachusetts, maybe an inch or two of snow. And then Maine, maybe some isolated areas could see half a foot of snow from this, but there's still a big question mark on how this develops. The European is a little bit bullish, but even the national blend of models are showing a few inches of snow is possible for most of Maine, especially the interior areas. You look at the RGEM model, it is continuing to show an all-out super icy scenario for portions of the Piedmont of North Carolina. I do not think this is going to come true, but it starts freezing rain as early as 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning for Charlotte, and pumps out a pretty icy scenario for portions of even upstate South Carolina. I'll grant, I'm just showing you this. This is an outliner. I do not think this is going to happen, but this would be for 8, 9, 10 a.m. and just show some icy conditions for areas of North Carolina and portions of Virginia. But we'll take a look at what the national blend is showing as far as ice totals, showing just pretty much a light glaze for portions of North Carolina. This has shifted this from North Carolina a little bit northeast, a little bit of a glaze north of Raleigh into areas of Virginia, and then isolated just pockets of glazes, if you will, like just a very light glaze on elevated surfaces. Not going to be a big deal at all. I really don't think it is, but let's take a look at what the overnight European showed and the latest morning model showed for the GFS and the European, and we'll even take a look at the Canadian model. All three models show energy around that mid-month time frame that we discussed in last night's video. So we're all the way out to about, this would be around Saturday afternoon. You see all these blue lines right here that in the high pressure dropping down. That tells us that cold air is dropping down all the way into Texas. You have a low pressure or something, some kind of southern stream piece of energy trying to develop. It's really not coming together, but it has a stripe of snow for Saturday evening for portions of the Mid-South. Now, please, when you look at this, please don't in your head just ingrain that this is going to happen. This is just one model run, but there, like I said, we showed the European last night for the lunchtime model yesterday, and it showed you what it showed, which was a major system across the eastern U.S., but it's very far out. The snow is breaking out. It even shows snow all the way down to the Gulf Coast, light snow. We're getting into Sunday morning, and then something like a transferred low, almost like a hybrid low pressure starts to develop here, and then you have snow all the way to Charlotte, to Raleigh, all the way to the Delmarva area, areas of the mid-Atlantic coastal areas, and then all the way up into New England start to develop, and then a low pressure cranks up overnight next Sunday into Monday morning, and then you have a system, but it doesn't look that big of a system, right? It just doesn't look like it completely comes together like the European did of the video I showed you last night. But we'll take a look at the GFS and what it shows for that same time period. Getting into this week, a pretty robust clipper moves through and might dump maybe several inches of snow for areas of the Great Lakes region, Michigan. We'll watch Chicago for that, and into the interior Northeast. And then we're getting in that storm we're just talking about. Here comes the cold air dropping down, but you're thinking, well, what storm? Where is it? Well, it doesn't really show it. It flirts with the idea, but you notice there's nothing really coming up here. Basically, two pieces of energy are trying to come together, but they don't really come together at all. I don't know what I'm trying to brain fart here. Here we go. We look at the pieces of energy here, and it's really just a northern stream dominant piece of energy that drops down, and it never really comes together until it gets way off the eastern U.S. and never really just comes to friction if you're looking at the GFS. Therefore, when you're looking at moisture at the surface, it doesn't really come to friction as far as what you're seeing on these models, and that's why you're not really seeing a storm. You're having this digging down, but it never really comes together and phases together to become a system. So therefore, you don't really have much showing up if you're looking at the surface profiles as far as seeing greens and blues and what kind of moisture you're seeing. Nothing's really showing up. Shows a low pressure swing through here, but like I said, it's northern stream dominated, so therefore you have some precipitation up to the north, but nothing really gets digging to the south, and therefore you just have a northwest flow pretty much that sets up for next weekend, and that's about all she wrote. Canadian model, though, it shows pieces of energy too. It's there. It just never really fully comes together as we're getting into next weekend. Here it comes. Here comes the drop down, and check out this low pressure developing right here. Cold air coming down. You got snow breaking out in areas of Texas, and then a low pressure developing right here with cold air right nearby, but nothing ever quite comes together. You have a big plume of moisture right off the coast of the southeast with cold air nearby, and it just doesn't quite phase together. So we'll have to watch model runs today. What I am getting confidence in is that we're going to have not a big time cold front, but I do think we're going to have a cold front that drops down with some energy around next weekend into Valentine's Day. Around the mid-month time frame is what I'm trying to say, and we're going to see if anything can really link together to become a big-time storm. So that's still the time frame we're watching. We're going to still hone in on that time frame and really try to figure out what's going to happen. But that's all I got, guys. I'll talk to you guys this evening. I hope you guys have a great day, and God bless everybody.